What do you mean you got it in the cohort? Like you met them on Discord?
Yes, so I got to learn a lot from the people in Cohort itself.
So you applied on Well-Found, you said. A lot of people have heard, they get interviews on Well-Found. It seems like 1,000 times better version of Internshala. What was the interview process like?
The interview was pretty much...
Did you apply to many jobs, one job?
I used to apply...
What did your day look like? What do you code like?
It was mostly like...
Hello everyone and welcome to a new pod. Today we have Rahul, who's from Cohort 3. He started coding a year ago in April. He belongs to a tier 3 college. He's currently in his final year and he cracked 3 internships. 2 of them converted to a full-time offer. He'll talk about his journey of interviews. How can you crack that very first offer? His offer is 10 LPA right now, which is a great starting point for someone who's currently in college, has 6 more months or a year before he graduates. So he'll talk about the interview process, how he started to code in a year, how he got this very first outcome. So with that, Rahul, welcome to the pod. Can you give us a brief introduction?
Hi everyone, my name is Rahul. I'm currently in final year pursuing BTech from 𝗚𝗚𝗚. It's in Greater Noida. Actually, I've been a dropper also. I've done my 12th in 2019 and I started my college in 2021. I started my coding journey last year in April because there is a FOMO that everyone should get a job. My initial thought was I would get in Google, which is not now because I didn't like DSA. I had been doing DSA previously. It's on a like medium level DSA. I could solve medium level questions, but then I got to know that you need to know development also. Then I started learning HTML and CSS by April 2024, and after that I had to get an internship because I was already in third year. In 5th semester, and everyone around me had internships. Everyone who was doing good, not people from my college. Because I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos that someone's getting in Google, someone's getting in Microsoft through DSA, how they cracked videos. Like in 3 months they got into Google. So I started learning HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and then after that I thought I would get an internship, but I could not. I thought this was enough, as everyone says in YouTube videos. Then I started learning React.js. It was through YouTube only, and after completing React.js I had a opportunity to intern somewhere as a full stack developer through my brother's referral. After that I made a switch after 3 months. So my most of the learning is on the job only. Because there was not like I was lost somewhere, because on job they directly ask you to learn something and then implement it in real life. So after that I made a switch. And after completing that internship also, I had a PPO, which I didn't like. Then the recent company, they approached me in December last year. I applied in October on Well-Found. So they replied to me, but I didn't really care that they had replied to me because I already had an internship somewhere. And then they approached me again. The co-founder called me in December, and that's how I got the current job with a PPO. I'm currently on internship.
Got it. So you applied on Well-Found, you said. A lot of people have heard, they get interviews on Well-Found. It seems like 1,000 times better version of Internshala. Did you apply to many jobs, one job, and how?
I used to apply left, right, and center on LinkedIn, on X, doing assignments everywhere. Actually, after I was already in your cohort, so I got to know about you from my friend's friends who was in cohort 2. And the first video I watched was yours about the 4 CR offer that you showed payslip, and I was like that I had to join. Actually, by December I thought I know something because I have already interned at 2 places, but I didn't. Because when I joined Cohort, I met a lot of people who are doing way better. It's not a FOMO. I won't say it's a FOMO because I met a lot of friends in Cohort. It's there, like in TAs, I have Javed, I have 𝗚𝗚𝗚 that I frequently talk with on a daily basis, because if I have any doubt, then I reach out to them for the front end to Javed, and from the system design or for any part to 𝗚𝗚𝗚. So they have been like a lot of help to me to understand the basics better, and that's how like now that I feel like I'm confident enough to. Actually, after the December one, this internship, I've already cracked 2 more also. One which is from Cohort.
Achha.
Yeah, I got one offer from Cohort. They liked my interview, and then their co-founder or someone from their team, they reached out to me that we loved your interview, but I didn't really like their product. I should not say it. The comp was better than my current one, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting. What do you mean you got it in the cohort? Like you met them on Discord?
Yes. Every person from Cohort, I met them on Discord.
So seems like you 2 internships helped. One of them was sort of nepotism. Your brother got you in, but that's super important. Like first internship, on ground experience where you're building a real product helps. Than just cloning projects. So that's one great thing that you did. So after a lot of real world learning on internships and cohort and everything, you applied for the well-found company. What was the interview process like?
The interview was pretty much smooth actually. They called me. Then the first time they reached out to me, they asked me about my projects and all. First, they asked me if I was interested, and I said yes. Then they discussed all three of my projects. One is like the thing about me is that I have made end-to-end projects. None of them is like I made a chat app and it's proper, like you get to sign in, and then I made a social media application with messaging feature, notification, because that was my first project, was this, that I'll build a social media application with every feature. You can post, you can change password, everything, every feature
Right.
end to end, which is not optimized at all. It's my first product. I made a mess out of it. That I realize now, because I have to. The thing with me is, I get to handle such things. Like in my current job, I have to build systems. I have to design a notification service. So I have to think from that perspective, that on scale, how it will look like, if it will break or not. Do we even require it? Do we even require Kafka streams? Because
Right.
our scale is not that big right now.
Correct.
Correct. So basically, my founder, he asked me if what's the cost is going to be. So my learning has been mostly on jobs.
Makes sense. So the interview was just very chill. Like they just ask you your projects, you showed your projects, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah, very cool. And how was the internship like period? Like your first offer an internship, and only if you did well did it convert to a full time. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, how long was the internship, and what were your responsibilities during that?
My internship was like, they'll convert within 6 months if they like my performance. And if they don't, then 6 months, it was that you will be converted eventually if you are not kicked out.
Okay, makes sense.
So it was like that.
Got it. And what were your responsibilities? Like, what were you coding? What did your day look like? How many hours were you coding?
I used to code like not a lot, to be honest. Basically, when I joined your cohort, one of the realizations that I had was that I need to dig deeper. I need to know how use effect works under the hood. I need to know how the API call is going, how the connection pooling is done with the database, how everything is working. Making a CRUD application is different, but knowing the background, because in this internship, that what I need to do is I need to design system, and my seniors and my managers, all their questions is, why should we pick your solution? So one of the great learnings that I had in cohort, or from the other people that I met in cohort, is that you need to know how the system works. It's not only about you sending data or you saving data. One of the learning is, when we use ORM, we use ID on every table, but it's not usually required. You are not performing a CRUD operation on a table, then you don't really require ID. You can have a foreign key there, and you can get the data out of there. So there are a lot of things, that which database to choose. Like there is not only MongoDB, there is not only Postgres, there is DynamoDB for key value, for analytics and all. There is analytics database that are different. So I got to learn a lot from the people in cohort itself. I ask questions to everyone. Even if he's junior to me, he's senior to me, I'll just start. We sit in VC and we start discussing things on the systems, how things work, what are the optimizations like, how connection pooling helps, how initializing connection pools helps. My understanding of deeper concept on a low level concept is quite decent, I would say. I won't say it's good, because I'm still learning a lot from people. To be honest, there's a lot of correct people in 100x who are
Makes sense.
building crazy products.
Got it. Cool. Sorry, just to come back to the question, like, what did your day look like? What do you code? Like, what is it? A React project, Node project, Next.js project?
It was mostly like, as I had internships, so I had to spend time like 4 to 5 hours there. Then I'll go and watch your lecture or watch some videos on YouTube, and then I'll code my project. That's it. I didn't really count how many hours. It's more like I had to finish it, so I would finish it faster. That's more like.
Got it. Makes sense. And what was the tech stack? Like, what were you doing on a day-to-day basis?
It's primarily Stack, Next.js.
Got it. What is the product? Like, is it like a website?
The current internship one?
Yeah.
They're building a CRM for consultants, study abroad consultants. It's basically a white labeling product.
Got it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Very
So
interesting.
basically, there are study abroad consultants who basically charge students like 2 to 3 lakhs a year to guide them for like studying in abroad. So they use our product as a white label product. They pay yearly and then they use our product as their product.
Got it. Makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And these are like Indian companies, like Indian, of course they're Indian, like study abroad.
There is a
India.
similar company in US which have raised like $30 million in funding. Series B.
Got it.
College Wine is the name. US company.
Got it. Cool, man. Yeah, I think I've heard of college. I think I used it when I was preparing for my masters, or prepping for it.
Yeah, they map consultant. Their job is not to map students. Their job is to just sell their software to consultants.
Got it. Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Very cool, man. Okay, so which of these companies are you thinking of joining now? Where did you find the best work? And are you going to now work full time? Abhi college mein hi, college ke saath hi?
Yeah, I'm working full time. It's basically a hectic work because they are like starting up. They have their product. The question that I had for you is they have a product that is LMS that they rent out. It's basically their earning source. The CRM is the one that they're building, which I'm actually leading from the backend side. The problem that I have right now is that their LMS it's schemaless. They have 3 backends. There is no one to KT. Bangladeshi peoples build it. There are 3 backends. I have not even seen their code to be honest. And the talk around is do we revamp it or do we rebuild it? Because if rebuilding it will be pretty difficult because migrating the data, which we don't have a schema, it's like no idea how the data is storing bunch of things somewhere, plenty of tables which are just empty. I don't know why they are there in database.
Very obvious thing you'll find in small startups that are built by a Bangladeshi or an Indian consultant. Like a lot of consultants know a specific stack or उस पे कुछ करके बना देते हैं. The code is ugly, as you said, no schema. So what database is it? Like Firebase? I'm assuming it's Firebase.
MongoDB. Yeah, Firebase, MongoDB, both. They have 3 servers running, and I have no idea. Like all 3 servers have the same API. Probably they had like the first version, then they were trying to improve it. That is my deduction from their they made 3 servers.
Yeah, I think so. This is like a tough process always. As you said, migration will be the biggest challenge. Migrating data to a SQL database where there is strictness. I'm sure there are tables mein kuch bhi ho raha hai. So basically, it's like a very scary process. If this is a product that's being used, unfortunately, it'll probably stay like that forever. Even a staff engineer, if he comes, it'll take them 6 months to a year to make sure a safe migration happens. It's just hard. It's easier to rebuild and start from scratch and let the old clients use the old code base and the new clients, since you're a B2B product, move the new clients to the new database. That's probably the easiest thing you can do. Migration, I don't think it'll be a very high priority or high value thing for your company to pursue. Always an interesting challenge though.
The thing about this product is whenever a developer touches it, it breaks.
Yeah. Every other code base out there.
It breaks. We are not allowed to touch it yet because it is their main earning source and I get them. Through this internship, I have realized that the product comes first, then the development. Because it is their earning source, they would not want me to touch it and then break it. Primary earning source. Now the problem is they are pretty much on the topic that we want to revamp it without touching it a lot. Because the founder is non-tech, from non-tech background.
It'll be very hard to explain to him why this is a very challenging problem. And rewriting it from scratch with a new DB might be the best approach, and letting the old users stay on the old code base. Or what you can do is create the first one and then migrations are just tough, man. They're like no easy way to migrate data from one database to another, and especially if the code is written in a way where the schema is so nimble.
No, there is no schema.
Yeah, or whatever. It's schema less. कुछ भी डल रखा है database में. It will be very hard for you to, and as you said, it's hard for you to read through the code base. There are too many services. Even if you had a great grasp of the code base, even then migrating, from one, keeping the API same, keeping the DB same, and migrating over is very hard. So basically, it'll just be a lot of conversation that will never happen, is what I feel. That's what happened in most companies.
Yes.
One of the companies I used to work at had a very similar challenge. Firebase was the database they started with. They scaled very quickly. There was a 1-year project by a staff engineer to move the data from Firebase over to, an SQL database. So it just kept on, all the time was spent on doing research, and eventually nothing was done, at least by the time I left the company. So yeah, if a company that's worth $1 billion, staff engineer is not able to do it, it's a hard challenge. It's just very hard to explain that to a non-technical person.
Yes, both of my founders are non-technical.
But that gives you leverage though. Okay, if you can do it, or even if you can't do it, basically generating life in your career here, if they do well, you'll do well, because they'll be primarily dependent on you. That's the benefit of working with non-tech founders.
In my current internship, I built some great system. I built a recommendation system also. My learning has been high, but it's like very argumentative type talks with the founder to rely them that this can't be built in a day or two.
Right.
It's always
Fair.
like this in a startup.
Agreed. Especially now when founders have AI to blame, so they'll be like AI se kara lo. So
Yes.
always a challenge. Cool, man. That's an interesting journey. Thank you so much for sharing. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I filled form for Super 30. Am I allowed?
Invited. More than welcome. Aajo. So yeah, I think one thing about Super 30 is where are you based out of?
In Delhi.
Perfect.
I actually wanted to meet you in real life. Of course, you have schedule, so I didn't even push it through.
Whenever the campus starts, just come. And Super 30, we'd love to have you. You already have a job, so you probably won't be super active, is what I can guess right now.
Actually, I have to learn a lot of things. The tech, I fell in love in tech after joining 100 Steps, to be honest. After meeting a lot of people in the same community, and then how you can build a scale system, how you can scale it to billions of users. I've been learning, and it's been amazing. And I've been getting to build it also, especially in a startup. That is the reason mainly why I'm staying. Otherwise, I would have left it to join Super 30.
Very cool, man. Yeah, more than invited. If you're free from college, and whatever.
Yeah,
you have hours
more
from
than
travel.
love to join, to be honest.
Cool, man. Yeah. All right. Any more questions? Amazing journey, and I'll see you on campus.
Thank you.